It kind of just stabs you in the gut over and over to see your people kind of be hurt like this.
There's a lot of people that family members are looking for.
The devastation here is rough. One moment you find washed up furniture, the next a child's shoe.
Do you have any trepidation about what you'll find?
Certainly, yeah. We don't really know what we could be encountering. There could be people loss of life, people that are in emergency situations. Just coming into this with really, a lot of awareness about that.
Unfortunately, we've already seen casualties.
Lynn was my best friend, and I just, I'm not ready to talk about it, but I saw him go. I kept texting him, are you coming? Are you coming? Are you there? Where are you? And then I heard the crashing, and I'm like, what is that? It's houses.
If they are not with us, if they're not with us anymore, we do have to deal with looking at a body, identifying them possibly. But, that's something that no one's talking about in the community. There are missing people and deceased people, and I don't even know where we even go.
Unfortunately, the river took my house and 9 of our neighbors, all the ones on the river.
All my neighbors, honestly, they're like family, so it's like you look down, you look up, and it's nothing.
Hard to believe the river had come up that quickly and cause this kind of devastation, but it did, just a matter of minutes. You lost everything you worked for the last 40 years.
You don't know what it's like until you lose everything.
It's okay, we'll get emotional together.
I wish death, destruction, and loss didn't happen to anyone.
1 month since Helene made landfall in the Carolinas, impacting homes, businesses, including the families who lost loved ones.
All of us have been touched by this storm, but some more than others, especially the ones who have lost their lives.
One of my family friends actually passed away. He fell, his apartment complex came undone from the foundation. He left behind his wife and 2 young kids, and just having to go to that funeral and watch the kids have to put their dad in the ground, that's hard.
As several hundred people gathered in downtown Black Mountain Tuesday night to pay respect to the victims of Helene.
You did not bring this storm. You simply survived it.
The community has been just outstanding. We have had several community meetings right here in our town square that we have hosted since the storm. We've had lots of members come out in support and enthusiasm, just to kind of know that we are working toward, getting back to that normal.
From special remarks from city leaders to musical performances, organizers say that more than 600 candles were passed out. And as the night came to an end, the community lit up downtown, each blessing another and those affected by the storm through love, protection, and angels.
We felt it was important to, one, remember those who tragically lost their lives during this hurricane and the storm, but also just to reflect and remember those lives lost, those who lost family members and friends.
We are Black Mountain Strong as a community standing together. Together, we are unbreakable.
There are so many folks who are still waiting for assistance, unable to be reached because their roads were washed away.
River Road has pretty much been wiped out, but from what I've seen, the people that live here that happen to have excavators and bulldozers, they're rebuilding their own roads.
We have identified as a priority people who have been out of touch. 12,000 requests. Can you help us find a loved one? and then about 1,000 resolutions since then.
The Cajun Army, French Broad River Academy. So many groups are here to help.
We're going out to these places, we're hiking in, we're ruining our cars getting to these people in need just to make sure that they have the peace of mind that we know you're here, we're here for you as well.
Swannanoa's Fire Chief Anthony Penland grew up in Swannanoa. He anticipates more bodies recovered.
Is it over 5?
It's over 5, yes.
Is it over 10?
It could be going to 10, but that's where I would stop. Don't forget us. Please don't forget us. Make sure that we are. It's just as important, which I believe we are.
It has been almost a week since Helene hit western North Carolina, and now is one of the first days where a lot of parts of Guerin Creek Road and other portions of Fairview have been accessible, and the resources, ATVs, sheriff's deputies, outside help have been able to get to these parts. There's a lot of hands here, but it's going to take a while before those hands make an impact and make this rural community the one that people came to know and love.
Such a good girl.
Lee Pantis spent day 6 since Helene with his best friend, Cleopatra.
She knows something's going on, but we're not sure. She doesn't know quite what.
There might not be a dog or person in Fairview who does know what's going on right now.
This out, you know, people still, I guess, up in the mountains up here on Guerin Creek, it's really bad.
We had the National Guard here yesterday where they had a contingent with a master sergeant walking up and down the valley, checking people.
Our pond was gone. We had trees all over the driveway and our bridge to get out.
The water was 3 feet over this bridge. The shock was so devastating, and you've heard the story with people just crying and my neighbor just on the pavement looking at our bridge, just sobbing and bawling.
People like Lee and June have been stranded for almost a week now along Guerin Creek Road. While fallen trees and power lines can be found all over the area right now, Guerin Creek can barely be considered a road in some parts. Spray-painted lines signifying unstable asphalt. But over the last few days, there's also been some new sights.
We had half a dozen Chinooks the other day, all day, back and forth, and helicopters all up and down the mountain.
After nearly a week, resource and rescue teams are making it deeper into the rural community. With it comes a new outlook.
This is so hopeful. We've been waiting for help to show up, and they just showed up out of the blue remembering us. And I know there are solutions, and people come together, you know, and do the best. Yeah, I try to be upbeat. You have to be optimistic. I think we help create our future by the way we look at the world. Be kind and help others. That's the solution. That's what they're doing, out of the blue.
It took a lot for people to make it to Bank of America Stadium on October 26th.
We didn't have any internet, you know, no cell, no nothing, so you didn't see anything until a couple of days later.
The night that happened, my son come home and he said, "Mom, I don't never want to see anything like that." It's just like everything just wiped clean.
Some notable natives wanted to do something about it.
Luke called right after this happened, a day or two after, and said, you know, I want to do this.
There was no question that this was going to happen come hell or high water.
I told Luke, I said, whatever you want, I'm there.
A show like this usually takes a year or a year and a half to plan, and we were able to get it done in 3 weeks.
On October 7th, Concert for Carolina was announced.
Sold out like that, and all these people here, donations everywhere.
I told my daughter, I said, "We got to go. That's our part. We got to help."
I have friends around the world, in Europe and other places, who heard all about this.
Over 82,000 people, including hundreds of first responders from the Asheville area, came together to see the likes of Keith Urban, Billy Strings, Sheryl Crow, among others. But for Luke Combs and Eric Church, they had someone they knew they had to have.
I'd like to thank Luke and Eric.
I couldn't get his cell number, so I kept going through my phone to find who would know James Taylor. I'm pretty sure after talking to James last night that I think I stalked him for a period of a week or two.
All the artists being on stage for different reasons than usual.
This is just one perfect example of how, okay, we got a platform, and if God's going to give us this ability to use that platform to raise money for people who need it, that's the best thing you can do in life.
For all the people that have been working up there, it's a little bit of a taking a breath.
After all the cheers, songs, and surprises, over $24.5 million were raised.
All going back to help Western North Carolina.
It's really cool that we have the ability to help, and all these Carolina folks are stepping up to do it.
And that's going to come back to our community in millions and millions of dollars for support for the months and years that we're going to need it.
This is for the most worthy cause that I can think of, so it means so much more than just a regular concert.
These people are going to need help long after tonight, and long after next month, and long after 6 months.
They're going to come back. They're going to build strong. It's going to come back.